Today we're diving into a topic that's near and dear to all our hearts: video games, but not just any games, no sir. We're talking about the heavy hitters, the legends, the games that changed. These are the games that didn't just entertain us, they shaped the entire industry and left a crater-sized impact on gaming culture. We're talking about the games that made you laugh, cry and rage quit so hard you almost broke your keyboard. Get ready for some serious nostalgia, because we're about to embark on a journey through time to revisit the top 10 most influential video games of all time. Buckle up, bros. It's going to be a wild ride. Kicking off our list at number 10 is none other than... Now, you might be thinking, Casey, my man, why start with number 10 when the intro was so hype? And to that, I say patience, young Padawan. We got to build up to the mind-blowing stuff, right? Released back in 1986 was like a revelation. I mean, this was a time when most games had you moving left or right, shooting ducks or whatever. Was like, hold my beer and dropped you in this massive world with the freedom to explore wherever you wanted. It was mind-blowing. Suddenly, you weren't just playing a game, you were a world, exploring every nook and cranny, discovering secrets, fighting monsters. It was revolutionary. And let's not forget the story. Saving a princess, collecting magical artifacts, battling a giant pig demon thing, had it all. This game set the standard for open-world exploration and storytelling in video games, and its influence can still be felt today. Without, who knows what kind of games we'd be playing now? Probably just a bunch of duck-shooting simulators. Coming in at number 9 is a true icon, the game that needs no introduction. But I'm going to give it one anyway. This game, my friends, is a masterpiece. It's like the Mona Lisa of video games. Everyone knows it, everyone loves it, and it's been copied more times than I can count. But hey, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, right? Single-handedly defined the platforming genre. Running and jumping might seem simple now, but back in 1985, this was groundbreaking stuff. The level design, the power-ups, the music, even the goofy story about a plumber rescuing a princess from a giant turtle, it all just wasn't just a game, it was an experience. It's the kind of game that makes you want to grow a mustache, wear overalls, and eat mushrooms. Maybe not the last one, but you get the point. At number 8, we've got a game that's less about jumping on turtles and more about, well, fitting blocks together. But don't let its simplicity fool you. Is a certified legend. This game is the epitome of easy to learn, impossible to master. Seriously, you can explain the rules in like 5 seconds, but mastering it, that takes years, maybe even lifetimes. But that's part of its genius. It's a game that's both incredibly addictive and surprisingly zen. You can zone out and clear lines for hours, or you can get super competitive and try to outsmart your friends. And the music, don't even get me started on the music. It's so catchy, so iconic, it'll be stuck in your head for days, maybe even weeks. It is a testament to the fact that you don't need fancy graphics or complicated gameplay to create a truly great game. Sometimes all you need is a bunch of falling blocks and a catchy tune. Chapter 4, number 7, Build It Your Way. The game that never ends. Hold on to your pickaxes, because at number 7 we've got a game that took the world by storm and never let go. This game is like the digital equivalent of Lego, except a million times bigger and more awesome. It's the ultimate sandbox game where you're free to build, explore and create to your heart's content. Want to build a giant castle? Go for it. Want to explore a procedurally generated world full of secrets? Be my guest. Want to team up with your friends and fight off hordes of zombies? Has got you covered. But what truly sets apart is its community. The creativity and passion of players is truly astounding. People have created some seriously mind-blowing stuff in this game, from working computers to entire cities. It's proof that sometimes the best games are the ones that give players the tools and then get out of the way. Chapter 5, number 6, Get Your BIG, the game that invented shooting stuff in first person. At number 6, we're blasting our way into the realm of first-person shooters with the game that started it all. This game was a revelation when it came out in 1993. It was fast, it was brutal, and it had a heavy metal soundtrack that made you feel like a total badass. But it wasn't just about mindless violence. Okay, maybe it was a little bit about mindless violence, but it also had surprisingly innovative level design and a surprisingly creepy atmosphere. popularized the first-person shooter genre and paved the way for countless games to come. Without, we wouldn't have classics like... So, next time you're blasting aliens in your favorite FPS, take a moment to thank the granddaddy of them all. Chapter 6. Number 5. Make some friends and raid their bases. The MMO that took over the world. Coming in at number 5, we've got a game that needs no introduction, but I'm going to give it one anyway because that's my job. It's the MMO that ate the world. This game was more than just a game, it was a phenomenon, it was a cultural touchstone, a time sink of epic proportions, and for some, a way of life. Took the MMO genre to a whole new level with its massive world, addictive gameplay, and surprisingly deep lore. It was the kind of game that you could play for hours on end, only to realize that you had to go to work tomorrow. Created a community like no other, with players forming lasting friendships and rivalries within its virtual world. It was a game that had it all: adventure, excitement, drama, and spreadsheets. Okay, maybe the spreadsheets weren't for everyone, but you get the point. Chapter 7. Number 4. I don't remember ordering a 10-star wanted level, the game that defined open-world crime. Buckle up, because at number 4, we're heading to Liberty City with the game that redefined open-world gaming. This game was a revelation when it came out in 2001. It was gritty, it was violent, and it gave players an unprecedented amount of freedom to explore a living, breathing city. Want to steal cars and cause mayhem? Go for it. Want to complete missions for the mob? You got it. Want to just drive around and listen to the radio? Had you covered. But it wasn't just the freedom that made so groundbreaking. It was the way the game told its story through its characters, its setting, and its satirical take on American culture. It wasn't afraid to push boundaries, and it paid off big time. It became a cultural phenomenon, spawning countless sequels, imitators, and controversies. Love it or hate it, there's no denying the impact it had on the gaming landscape. Chapter 8. Number 3, Gotta Catch 'Em All, the pocket-sized phenomenon. At number 3, we're catching 'em all with... These games were more than just games, they were a cultural phenomenon. Released in 1996, introduced the world to Pikachu, Charmander, Squirtle, and the rest of the gang, and the world went absolutely bonkers for them. Suddenly, everyone and their grandma was carrying around a Game Boy trying to catch 'em all. But it was more than just a fad. It was a genuinely great RPG with a surprisingly deep combat system and a surprisingly addictive Gotta Catch 'Em All gameplay loop. But what truly set apart was its social aspect. Trading Pokemon with friends, battling it out to become the very best, like no one ever was. It was pure magic. It weren't just games, they were a social experience. Chapter 9. Number 2, it's like real life, but with more plumbing emergencies, the game that let you live another life. Coming in at number 2 is a game that lets you live out your wildest fantasies, or at least your wildest suburban fantasies. This game was a revelation when it came out in 2000. It was a life simulation game that let you create and control a virtual family, guiding them through the ups and downs of everyday life. Want to build your dream house? Go for it. Want to get a job, get married, and have kids? You got it. Want to trap your Sims in a pool and watch them drown? Well, that's a bit dark, but hey, it's your virtual world. It's a game that appealed to everyone from casual gamers to hardcore simulation enthusiasts. It was a game that let you be yourself, or at least a virtual version of yourself. Chapter 10, number 1, Waka, Waka. Waka, the little yellow guy that started it all. And finally, the moment you've all been waiting for, the number 1 most influential video game of all time is... This game needs no introduction. It's a legend, an icon, a testament to the power of simple, addictive gameplay. Released in 1980, took the world by storm, becoming a global phenomenon that transcended language, culture, and even age. Everyone from kids to grandparents was hooked on guiding that little yellow circle through the maze, gobbling up dots and avoiding ghosts. It was more than just a game, it was a cultural phenomenon. It spawned countless sequels, imitators, a cartoon show, even a hit song, but more importantly, helped legitimize video games as a form of entertainment. It showed the world that video games could be fun, addictive, and yes, even art. Outro high score. What are your top 10? So there you have it, bros. The top 10 most influential video games of all time. These games haven't just entertained millions, they've shaped the industry, pushed the boundaries of what video games can be, and left an undeniable mark on pop culture. From the 8-bit adventures of our childhood to the sprawling online worlds of today, these games have brought us countless hours of joy, frustration, and everything in between. But hey, that's the beauty of video games, right? They have the power to transport us to other worlds, to challenge us, to make us think, and most importantly, to have fun. Now it's your turn. Let me know in the comments which game you think is the most influential and why. And don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe for more epic gaming content, and I'll catch you in the next video.